I'm Miguel Lopez de Leon. I'm the author of several young adult, middle grade, and dark fantasy novels. And today we're going to talk about practical tips for writers. Now, these aren't writing tips, they're tips for a better, more productive writing experience. Some of these things might not work for everyone, but they've worked for me, and I just wanted to share them with you. A lot of these things sound deceptively simple, but they're really effective. Tip number 1, use an outline. An outline really helps keep you in order, it helps keep you organized, and for me it's always helped keep me really focused. I have another video on my channel, how to outline a novel manuscript, and I hope that video helps you too if you want a more detailed summary of how to write a really basic, simple outline. Tip number 2, write regularly. Write as regularly as you can, because 15 minutes a day, it adds up to a lot. It keeps you fresh, it keeps you sharp. You'll get to your goal that much faster. Write whenever you can and as often as you can. Tip number 3, I get eye strain sometimes. If I work for long periods of time, my eyes get tired, and I have glasses and they have anti-glare, and that really helps. I also turn down the brightness of the screen, and that really helps me too. But what I've started doing recently, the document you're on, where you're writing, usually it's white. What I've done is I realized you could change the color of that on most programs. The page that I work on, I change it to sort of like a dark orange. Now, I'm not particularly fond of dark orange. I just noticed that that seems to be very calming to my eye. Try using different colors, whatever color is calming for you. It doesn't have to be orange, it could be whatever. I would think a darker color that's not so bright would be more relaxing. It really helps my eyes not get tired after writing for long periods of time. Tip number 4, every hour or so, stand up, stretch, walk around. Not only will it help your neck and your back, I find it also helps my mind relax and helps ideas flow easier. I notice that if I'm stuck in a certain place or a scene isn't flowing as easily as I'd like it to, or I just sort of, I'm not sure where I want something to go, standing up, walking around, just moving around, changing the immediate environment you're in, I find that really helps me come up with new ideas. Tip number 5, try not to work when you're exhausted. So for example, sometimes I would write for long periods of time, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna just keep writing for maybe just 1 more hour. Because in my mind, I thought I'm 1 hour closer to achieving my goal of finishing this manuscript, finishing this project. So I would push even though I knew I was exhausted. What I noticed is that the next day, I would spend 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours sort of going over and trying to fix what I wrote in that 1 hour of being exhausted, because oftentimes, because I was so tired, I realized, okay, it's not as clear, it was too repetitive, I don't like the way I was presenting these ideas. I did it to get myself 1 hour closer to my goal of finishing my manuscript, but the next day I would spend 3, 4 hours fixing it. So I was actually slowing myself down. Now what I do is, again, not when I'm tired, but when I'm like really exhausted, I stop, I write down all my notes, things I don't want to forget, and then the next time I write, or the next day, I refer to the notes so I don't forget anything, and I just start fresh. Our 5 tips for a more productive writing experience. Use an outline, write regularly, lower the brightness of your screen and change the color of the document you're writing on your computer to avoid eye strain. Stand up and walk around every hour or so, not just for your body, but also to relax your mind and help with the flow of ideas. Stop writing when you're exhausted. Just jot down the notes of where you are in the story, start fresh, and rest the next day. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.